right, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Hope you guys all had a good weekend. So I want to make a quick video and talk about the Jets game yesterday. Obviously, everybody knows the Jets lost 32-26 in overtime to the Dolphins. Finally putting to rest any of this delusional talk about playoffs or a playoff run or anything. Which, by the way, anybody with the common sense of a dog knew the Jets season was over before Halloween. They had no chance of making the playoffs. This team just didn't. But yesterday, let's talk about yesterday's game. And I know my previous video, I predicted the Jets were going to lose this game by probably 10, 14 points or something like that. I was definitely wrong on that. And I want to make one thing clear, too. It was one of my friends I was talking to yesterday, was like, brought it to my attention. And I was thinking, and they were like, it's like you root for the team to lose, but that's a mistake. I don't root for the team to lose. I'm a Jets fan. I certainly don't root for them to lose. I don't want them to lose games. And every time when I make my videos every week and I predict they're going to lose, it's because I think they're going to lose. It's not because I want them to lose. I just don't see a team that has any real fight in them. And that's why, because I want to be as honest as possible with my videos. I don't want to sit here and say, yeah, the Jets are going to go in and kick that ass, because I know they're not going to. So when I say that, I want to make it clear that it's not because I want them to lose. It's because I don't think they can win. That's why every week after week, I predict they're going to lose the game, because I don't think they can win the game. It's not because I don't want them to win. So I wanted to make that clear. So anyway, this loss now puts the Jets' playoff drought at 14 years. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. 14 seasons in a row, this team can't get to the playoffs. They can't even get a wild card. They can't make it to the playoffs in 14 years. That in itself is embarrassing. If nothing else is, that is embarrassing. That is the longest drought in any major North American sport. And it's going to get longer too. I'll tell you that right now. This is not a team that's going anywhere. I really wish I could be wrong on that. If anything I say about the Jets, it's that. I wish I could be wrong about that, but I'm just not. Because next year, to me, it looks more bleak than this year does. Because we're going to have a new coaching staff, probably a new quarterback. I hope a new quarterback. And this is going to start all over again. So unfortunately, this may go another 1 or 2 seasons. I certainly hope not. So don't take me like I want it to be like that. I absolutely don't want it to be like that. But that's where we're going. And so I want to talk about a couple of aspects of the game. Why at the end, when the Jets are farting around there, when they could have really kind of run the clock out, they makes a backward toss. They lose 5 yards. And then he goes back to pass and gets sacked. I don't understand some of the play calling there. Instead of kind of running the clock down a little bit more and then kicking that field goal, which really would have given the Dolphins maybe 10 or 15 seconds left in the game, they don't. So the Jets kick the field goal, and on the ensuing kickoff, why not kick the ball in the end zone? Why not put it in the end zone, make them go all the way to get that tying field goal? Instead, you risk that run back on the kick, which is what happened. The Dolphins run it back to the 45-yard line. A couple plays later, they're tying the game on a field goal. I just don't understand why they did that. And when the Dolphins, I'm watching the game with a friend of mine, and when the Dolphins get to kick the kickoff in overtime, you just knew that the Jets were not going to win the game. I was actually hoping that the Jets would maybe hold them to a field goal so at least they could touch the ball and see what Rodgers could do, because he had a pretty decent game. The offense in general had a pretty decent game. I know Rodgers threw for over 300 yards. His first time in like 3 years, probably his best game as a Jet. A lot of them were dump-off passes, but still, the stats are the stats. And the offense looked, for the most part, pretty good. The defense wasn't too bad either. They just fold in the end, especially in the fourth quarter. And another thing the Jets keep doing, which is just, to me, unconscionable, is these penalties they get. I don't know how many times, 2 or 3 times, if the Dolphins got a long pass or a decent gain, they would add 15 yards to it because of some kind of a hands to the face or whatever it was. This is just what they do. So they weren't helping themselves out any there. And this is the 7th time the Jets have lost a game that has been decided by 6 points or less in this season. So They're just such a hard team to figure out. They're not good. And bad teams, as everyone says, find ways to lose, and good teams find ways to win. And you can't put the Jets in any other category other than bad team that finds another way to lose. And this is what they do. Yesterday, the Jets scored 26 points, which, if you think about it, that sounds bad. Like 26 points, that's it. The offense played pretty well. They only got 26 points. You guys came and scored 30 points. But the league average this year, I think, is somewhere around 21.4 games or something like that. It is. I can't remember what it is. So at least they got the higher than the league average. Congratulations on that. But you still lose. You still lose a game. 26 points is not enough with a defense, with a team and a defense that plays like this. And it's just so disheartening to see another season, another hopeful season that we had. The Jets are going to go to the playoffs. There were some people that were predicting the Jets to go to the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship game. And it's just disheartening. It's embarrassing to watch. And they just, I don't know, they just don't function as a team. They function as players playing, not as a team. The coaching staff I don't care what anybody says, is absolutely horrible. And really everybody else says that, not just me. That whole thing is going to be restructured for next year. And I want to say one thing too, that for all the people out there who are going, well, Aaron Rodgers looked good yesterday. He looked good yesterday. But I want to remind everybody of one very important thing here, is that football is the ultimate team sport. I don't care if the quarterback played good or not. Yesterday we lost the game. There are times, you can go all the way back to the Sam Darnold era when the Jets lost games that Darnold played good in. But yet he still kind of gets the blame. It's always the quarterback now who gets the blame, no matter what. I remember many games during Darnold's tenure with the Jets where he played pretty good and Jets still lost. It was the offense's fault, or this time it was the defense's fault. Go back to Zach Wilson's days last year. There were games when he played pretty good. Jets should have won those games and they didn't. It's a team sport, so everybody has to function together as a team, which is the exact point I'm making. The Jets don't do that. They can't. Aaron Rodgers had a good game yesterday. Yeah, he did. Offense looked pretty good. Yeah, they did. But guess what? They lost the game. So how many games in the past have Aaron Rodgers looked like shit and the Jets lose those games? So you have to look at it like everybody has to function as a team here. Just because he had one good game yesterday doesn't erase the 8 or 9 shitty games he's had all season. This doesn't change my mind at all. And I may be in a boat all by myself here, but this doesn't change my mind at all. One good game. He has to go because next year he's going to be a year older. He's going to be a year slower. He's going to be, he's going to be a year closer to retirement, if you want to put it that way. So I just don't think, to me, I like to hear what everybody else thinks. Do you want to bring this guy back for another year as a bridge quarterback? Another guy who just, unless things are going well, he's depressing on the sideline. He mopes around, sits around with a towel on his head. I don't understand why anybody would want to. And plus what he's showing us this year is just not good enough to come back. If you're going to restart this team, if you're going to rebuild this team, this is just common sense. You can't rebuild a team with a 42-year-old quarterback who's on his last leg and may retire. How do you rebuild a team? How do you develop continuity with a new quarterback, or somebody that might be there another couple of years? Like, I don't know, Tyrod Taylor. I never thought he was that good, but he's a competent backup quarterback. But you're going to bring this guy back who's going to hold us all in limbo next year. I mean, is he coming back? Is he not? Is he playing? Is he not? What is he doing? Nobody will be able to find him for 2 or 3 weeks. I just don't want to see all that crap and all that chaos and all that shit going on with the Jets again. So Aaron Rodgers had a good day yesterday. Offense had a good day yesterday. But at the end of the day, the defense folded. Tua and the Dolphins marched right down the field. And by the way, too, I want to mention one thing. Tua was really never under duress the whole game. The Jets didn't even hardly give him any pressure, let alone get a sack, which they didn't. So I knew Tua was going to throw all over the field on the Jets, which he basically did. I mean, he didn't pile up some yards until later on, but it's just another way the Jets find a way to lose. They reel you in and think, if we're going to win a game, let's beat our division team. Because if they beat the Dolphins yesterday, they would have made a Dolphins path to the playoffs a hell of a lot harder than it would have been if they won. But no, we can't even do that. They're winning the game in the fourth quarter, and another loss in the fourth quarter. I don't know how many games that is now. I think 5 or 6 games now the Jets have led in the fourth quarter and crumbled and lost the game. So, you know, and I know every optimistic fan wants to say, man, if we had won those games, we would have 10 wins. We have 8, but we don't, and we didn't. And that's the way you have to look at it. You can't say, you know, if is a big word, you know, so you can't use that word here. The Jets lose, and they are a losing culture, unfortunately, and they find ways to lose. And once again, yesterday, that is exactly what they did. They found a way to lose even after a decent performance. And I want to say that's a decent performance for Rodgers. 300 yards, great. You know, every 300 yards seems to be the measuring stick for quarterbacks. If he throws for a 300-yard day, that's a good quarterback day. Unfortunately, it doesn't always win games, you know. So, and this is his first time in I don't know how many years. So against a Dolphin defense that is very mid. I even said that in my previous video about the game preview. The Dolphins defense is just very mid. You know, they're not excellent. This is not the '85 Bears. You know, this is a mid defense. So he got some points. But at the end of the day, too, there were times when they could have kept drives going, and he missed Garrett Wilson a couple times that was open. He made bad decisions. He took a sack. So they're not exonerated just because he threw for 300 yards and they scored 26 points in a game finally. So this is a team sport. There are times when the defense could have stopped the Dolphins and they didn't. There are times when the offense could have kept drives going and they didn't. And that's why the Jets lost. Not because of one side or the other, because as a team, they lost. So, anyway, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. And like the video if you enjoy my videos. I appreciate all the comments I've been getting lately. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a great deal. And I will be talking to you guys during the week. Have a great day and talk to you soon. Bye now.